Hello, today we have on Lily. Lily, thank you so much for being here with me today. Can you start off by telling me about yourself and what you do?
Sure. I work for a company called Bell Partners. It is a privately held, vertically integrated apartment company that's focused on managing and operating about 70,000 apartments across the United States. I'm the president of Bell Partners, and I've been here for about 11 years. And prior to that time, I was with a company called Avalon Bay, who's a public REIT. And I was there for 20 years and ran their investments, research, renovation, and portfolio management groups.
Great. So, what got you into real estate? Like, what made you want to go into it?
Well, I grew up in real estate. My father was a developer and broker of residential real estate in upstate New York. And so I remember as a very young child taking detours on the way to dinner or a family event to visit properties. You know, most kids would be super annoyed by this, but from an early age, I loved the business and started helping in his office when I was 13 years old. And when I was in college, I sold houses and leased apartments and then created my own market survey company, which I later sold when I graduated University of Michigan.
That's
And then
great.
over the last 30 years, I've actually only had really 3 jobs, which is pretty amazing.
So, you actually created a business while still in college.
I did, yeah. Yeah, I
That's
did.
great.
Thank you.
So, tell us a little bit about what you went to college for.
I went to the business school at the University of Michigan and focused on real estate. And it was just a fabulous experience. And from there, I joined a company called Richard Ellis, which was a pension fund advisor, basically invested people's money, other companies' money, and they were based out of the UK. And I was in their US office.
And so, how did you grow your way up from that title all the way to where you are today?
Well, I'm a little old, so it's a long story, but I'll try to keep it relatively brief. I had, as I mentioned, really primarily 3 main jobs from after graduating University of Michigan. When I joined Richard Ellis in 1990, I, I was only there for about 6 months or so,
Oh my
and
gosh.
then the whole market collapsed. You all are probably not even, I don't even know if you were born then yet, but it was, boy, what an experience. But from there, I came to a company called Trammell Crow Residential, which at the time was a decentralized development company and later evolved into a best-in-class apartment REIT, which is now known as Avalon Bay. And I was there for 20 years. And it was just really a great experience. Reflecting back on Richard Ellis, it was really scary at the time because there was a really big downturn in the market. And I learned the hard way that things can change very quickly, and a lot of times you don't see it coming. But it's important to be prepared and to be able to adjust when disappointments happen and curveball comes, your way. It was very difficult at the time, but because of that, I was able to join Trammell Crow. And the entree into Trammell Crow is one of the partners, Brad Olson, from Richard Ellis, took the time to provide the introduction for me into Trammell Crow. And it would have been hard to land that job without somebody taking the time and the effort just to make the connection for me. And so I learned a very valuable lesson that although sometimes you may have to make hard decisions as a leader, that we need to take care of our team. And because of that introduction Brad gave, it opened a door for me and changed my life and introduced me to Trammell Crow, which became Avalon Bay. And that also was a great experience. And I started there, just being open and flexible. What do they need me to do? And I started as, the ground level as an analyst on the property management side. And I think the best thing is I knew that I was in with a great company working with wonderful people. And I learned the importance of hiring strong people and different people and encouraging respectful debate and pursuing excellence in all that you do. And it was a pretty incredible journey. And we built a company together that went public and at $300 million in 1993. And then when I left in 2010 was $17 billion.
Wow.
And from there, I went to Bell Partners, which is where I am now, and I've been here for 11 years. And that's also been its own wonderful journey. When I started with the company, we were just based in the Southeast, and most of the capital was from high net worth investors. And today we manage, as I mentioned, about 70,000 apartments across the United States, representing capital from around the world, which is really cool and a great experience.
So, what does your job as the president of Bell Partners look like on a daily basis?
Well, every day is different. you know, our purpose as a company is to create communities our residents are proud to call home. And so it's important to me to make sure that we are serving our residents and to be there to support our team and try to make a difference in people's lives. So, every day is different. Sometimes it's been a little, obviously, very difficult with everything happening with the health pandemic and being there to try to figure out how can we support and serve our residents and our teammates, but also keep the doors open and things operating and adjusting on the fly as we need to. In addition, I spent a huge amount of time on talent management and how we can attract, retain, and grow amazing people. And sometimes, we're talking to investors who want to invest with us or clients that we manage for. And sometimes, I'm focused on our deals that we have that we're buying or selling. And I would say my very favorite part of the job is being with our people and helping to help them grow and be inspired and to make a difference. Because when they do great, we all do great.
That's great. So, earlier when you were talking about your journey to where you are today, were there any setbacks being a woman in that process or any barriers that you had to break?
Yeah, a great question. I would say, uh, and I know this is maybe a gross generalization, but I think sometimes women have an issues with confidence, with perfectionism. Try everything has to be perfect, taking on too much. I would say like the yes syndrome, and letting go of the guilt. And so I think that that's really important to make sure that you're paying attention to that and to make sure as you're thinking about what company you want to work with, pick a great company that has a wonderful culture and high integrity and surround yourself with a wonderful support system. You can't do it all. But so you have to make careful choices where you'll have the biggest impact and the greatest priorities.
So, what would your advice be for a woman going into a business or real estate career?
I would say is five things. Make a difference. So what I mean by that is take initiative, be resourceful, take a risk, don't give up. The second is build on your strengths, follow your natural passion and curiosity. No one is good at everything. Um, the third would be pursue excellence. Again, not perfectionism, as we talked about it. Approach challenges as an opportunity to learn and improve. Um, don't forget your character. Integrity and trust are critical in everything that you do. It's very hard to earn and super easy to lose. And then lastly, I would say is look forward, innovate, be flexible, be open to the journey, and embrace a growth mindset.
I love those. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us today about your career or anything else?
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you. And I think it's important to pay it forward. And so I'm so glad that you reached out. It's really important that we help each other and
Mhm.
support each other to make a difference. And being involved in programs like this or in other programs, like I'm involved in a foundation called Rose Foundation and Bright Beginnings, which helps families in poverty as well as other industry organizations are super, super important. So I'm thrilled to be here and hopefully can help pay it forward and help your